So welcome back, and this is the video in which we're gonna begin preparing our weapon for fixing the weapon flipping. But we also need to do a few more things, and I'm gonna begin with some fixes and better soy. The reason we were doing this is I noticed the soy doesn't look that great as I actually wanted it, but that's why we're gonna fix it. So let's do this. And this is like gonna be my own script I have made previously. I was using someone else's, which was a tutorial on YouTube, yeah, but it doesn't seem so good, so I decided to make my own. And after that, now I've come with this tutorial, so let's see. And yep, so we are gonna change all of this code and make it our own. What we can do is change this script, so I'm going to be using a different method, and this was actually a method on YouTube by someone else, so I don't think this is a great one. Well, let's comment it out for now. I already removed those variables, yep. And we just need to now do the net new one. So, well, firstly we want to actually stop doing this. We'll do that manually. And we can now do our own nice one, which is not going to be looking so bad. It's going to be on dot animal axis. This point and the continue on dot animal axis. And now inside the first one, you're going to pass in minus. Look. Now the axis that we want to give the look is going to be actually on the forward axis. No, sorry, this is up down, that's the y-axis. That means that we need the x-axis, which is going to be vector 3 dot right, and again minus look x, comma. Now instead of doing it previously like we did a long time ago, we were actually using the up axis, but now you're going to try out the forward axis. And we're also going to multiply this one by the amount. And yep, I think we're done. Yep. But you'll also remove the unused ones now, so come down, we don't need these anymore. So yes, let's come back here. Now let's, set these nice and accordingly. We can defaultly set them as 1.5, and the smoothing will set to something. I think we can go with 3 maybe. Modify it here as well. Alright, let's see what happens. It looks pretty good. Yeah, you can increase the speed actually. Okay, so that looks really nice. You still have this funny thing that happens if you're actually looking like this, and then you try to scroll. You can see how the weapon actually is trying to clip through the leg. We'll fix that. Basically, we need to prevent the x-axis from actually doing anything. So just make a bigger font, and let's close up this inside our look. Have this extrudation. So I think what we can do is say public, and then we can say how did it work? Get public, public get private set. Anyway, fine, that's not working. We'll just expose it for now. It's public now. Of course, it has to be a hard inspector, and we don't want to see it in there. Extrudation can now be accessed. We're going to check that if the extrudation, extrudation, extrudation 90. So I think it should go over to 90. Or my controller dot acceleration is equal to minus 90. So if either one of them is done, we don't want to do anything. What we want to do is we just want to do the same thing. This time, no more final one. This is smooth it to its original position. Else we want to do on this code. So yep. And finally, as we never need this one again, just delete that. Let's give it a try again. Well, it looks like that, I don't know, if we put it right here, the initial rod equals this. You're only setting it if it's not equal to any of these. Now, what is it currently? How can we find that out? Well, if you ask it to go in debug mode, you should be able to see everything, but see the look. Y rotation, but we can't see the X rotation, and that's not great. So that's because anyway, fine, whatever. We actually told it to hide and inspect this or show debug. Well, I think we can try one maybe. What about showing this one wrong for some reason, so that we can see what's going on with the X rotation, and it's set 0 for now. Let's see what happens and where it goes maximum. And yeah, let's see. So 89.9998 whatever it is, but it's only going to there, and that thing never goes to 90 exact. That would mean we check for 89, and that's all. So we're gonna check 89 minus 89. Estimatedly, approximately, we could say just a little behind to prevent that odd effect. So now let's see what happens. So yep, we are currently doing sway for some reason. Now the problem is we actually checked it to be perfectly equal, and that's not going to ever be true. So what we need to do is use some different things. So if it's 89, so 89 is going to be when it's aiming upwards, it'll go above greater, so it has to be greater than this or lesser than this. And now this should work. I mean, there's no real reason why it can't. Yep, you can see how the solar system gives it up, and even if you rotate, it doesn't work. So yeah. Otherwise, everything seems okay. Now, I think the speed is too less. Let's put it 5 and give it. To allow the z-axis to rotate, but not the other axis. So how can we do that? Well, it's quite easy. We just need to make these separate variables. So how this is going to work is it's to be different calculation if we are over here, and a completely different one if we are there. So we will have to, if we are in the limits, we don't want to multiply this one by anybody. So the look y up and down one's going to be disabled if we delete this. Also, we don't need to do this anymore. The rest is going to be handled by itself. And the rest I think should be same. Yeah. Let's give it a check again. So we can do sway, everything seems okay. And now you can see we've still got that axis, but not the up down. So now I have to come back up here. You can see we've still got that one, but not that. So that's pretty much it for the sway. Now let's actually get to the main point of this video, which is to actually, basically we need to enable both hands. Inverse kinematics should work for both hands, not one. So let's quickly do that. Go in the rig, duplicate this one, we need this one too. Right hand, okay. Secondly, we have the left hand set up. What it is, we're gonna drag the first one, which is a tip, and then we're gonna say set up and tip transform, and it doesn't work because it says not set. So what we can do is we hit reset, then we can also delete this. I will not use the auto setup thing because it actually creates a hint and a target, and we don't want the hint. Yeah, we don't want the hint because we want the animation rigging to actually calculate itself, because our hand can be anywhere. The hint's gonna actually cause trouble if we actually do something with it. The right shoulder, you've got the middle and the forearm. No, wait a minute, what's going on here? This has to be the arm, this has to be the right hand, this one's the forearm. Alright, so now we just need a target, and we'll go in here, just open that a bit. We already have it assigned to the right hand. So what we're going to do, instead of putting the right hand, I think that this thing already follows the transform position and rotation of the left hand IK transform. So I think we can just parent this or child this, this one, and even hitting the reset button shouldn't matter. I also want to remove this, no more funny stuffs. Then I'm going to create another empty game object, and that's going to be hand IK target, and this one should be target. Alright, so now we have this thing inside the weapon, and this is going to have a right hand, so we just need to create an empty game object, and that's going to be right hand transform. Then we write with it, so now above it, so it makes more sense. Then in the right hand IK target, we just need to attach the follow from position and rotation, and then pass in the correct target. So now we have IK enabled for both of them, and what's going to happen is we're going to cause a big problem. That's why I'm not going to hit the play button right now. So what we need to initially do is this GunHolder guy has to be now, and I need the spine that we rotate. So which spine is it that we rotate? Well, that's actually middle spine. We have spine too. I'm just going to delete this one. I meant to delete, not to duplicate. So yes, so we're using the spine one, and that's the kind of middle spine, I don't know. Yeah, but if we use the spine, it will look more real? No, it won't. It won't look that good, because that's going to cause a funny effect. What about the other side? And how does the normal spine look right now? So that makes more sense to me. That's the spine that's going to actually have this GunHolder. So we're just going to drag it as a child of this one. Now we can close the spine one. You see the GunHolder is right there. We can also say that we don't want we want to reset it, but now the issue is how are we going to position this thing? Basically, if we hit the reset button, it's going to go in the spine's position, and that looks pretty good. No, it doesn't. Is it possible to actually override a hand's rotation, not the actual animation? Let's have a look. Let's see, we have the 2-1 IK. If I don't pass in the mid and the root, what's gonna happen? I don't know. Let's see what else we have provided by the animation rigging. We have the chain IK dance transform, multi-position override, and multi-elements. Let's just set this to none. This one to none, and let's just see what happens now. Of course, I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm not sure. What's gonna happen? Something stupid's gonna happen. That was pretty expected, And whoa, what's that? So it looks like we actually made the... Something went wrong here. Oops, sorry about that. The head is actually rotating while the spine isn't. Yeah, it isn't, is it? I don't know what the heck's going on. But something I do know is that the weapon is trying to get to something. Let's put 45 minus 50, as that's what the what's that? Yeah, what is it? We can't actually define the rig. Yeah, the heading rig is trying to follow it as well, of course. So that's okay. But what the heck is this? There's no X-axis set up for this one. I don't know why that was turned off. Well, that will fix it. Yeah. I actually forgot to rotate the gun holder on this one. It's minus 50. Because this is already offsetting. Alright, so 50 minus 50, that's how it looks now. Now all that's left is we actually have to tell this one to be overridden. It's not getting overridden because you don't have any target set up for it, so we just need to pass in the target. And of course, even if we do something with this one, nothing's gonna happen with this one. We need to modify this one, so if we modify this one, nothing's gonna happen either. That's because we did not assign these two. I forgot that we can't actually work without them, so quickly assign these. The root is going to be, of course, the forearm and then the arm, and then we can just close this one. And now if we hit the play button, you can see a much more better reaction. So now what we need to do is we need to put the weapon at a position which actually looks like a good position. So let's see, I remember how it looks, right? So it should be something like this. I think we should just quickly place the right hand IK targets to the one that is over here, so that I can actually see a better view in the camera. Yeah, that's really okay. Now it looks pretty good. Yeah, it does. Where's the gun holder currently? Well, the gun holder should be facing with the player. The gun holder and the gun sway, everything seems exactly forward, so that's gonna be fixed anyway. This right hand is still troubling and it's blocking the visions, so I'm just gonna actually quickly put him on the side. Hey, bye bye, see you next time. So now we can actually position it while looking at everything carefully. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go here, and the camera holder not aiming, it doesn't matter, I need to hit the local positioning. Not aiming, which is currently set. Just gonna copy this one. Well, I think we can go in the aim mode, aiming mode, and now what we'll do is come to the camera hole, aiming, copy the world transform, come down here, select the gun holder, and paste in the world transform. That's gonna still keep it to minus 50, as that's the exact world transform. And now we just need to drag this weapon down, so it actually looks like a man would like to aim. We still have positioned it pretty ahead. It needs to be like this. How was it looking? No. Did we miss that one or not? I don't know. I think it was in perfect position, because if you look, the aim is actually pretty good. You'll just keep dragging it forward, then that becomes odd. Just so that it doesn't go through his chest enough, I think. That should do it. Yep. Yeah, a little bit clipping is okay. Alright, so we've got the gun holder positioned here. Amy, we got the sewing already set up. That looks pretty good. Oh, what the? Excuse me? What the heck's that? I mean, what the heck's that happening? Now, that is pretty obvious on why it's happening. That's because the child is basically not even near. So we need to drag these two into the middle spine that we're using. And yep, everything's gonna break. So why is that? It is trying to position it, but I don't know. It's not locked. Whatever. Let's fix that by doing it out of play mode. First, I just want to save this position. Get out of play mode. Based on the component loggers. Yeah, it's quite funny to be in the air, right? Oh yeah, it does. So now we're gonna drag these two into the spine one, and I think we can actually position them inside the gun holder, inside the gun sway even. Who cares? I mean, really, they don't make any difference. And just so that it starts off nicely, we can copy this one. Paste it in here, and then on the right hand do the same, and let's hope everything goes fine. I'm not sure how it's gonna look. Let's see what happens. So yeah, it was just a quick fix there, and we weren't supposed to child it to the sway. That's a stupid idea again. So basically this has to be outside the sway but in the gun holder. Now let's try it again. Alright, so that is back to original, right? Yeah. Except for this hand right in my front screen. Let's quickly position it during play mode. And how will we do that? Oh, select this. Well, actually, I think we get in play mode. We get in play mode. Scroll here. Position the mouse somewhere where the inspectors might be. Select some objects so we don't have any more game selected. Set it to the global axis. Select the right hand IP and just position it to where you want it. Now I'm pretty sure, well actually not this one. Modified. I'm just gonna get this to where it looks nice. It's still looking over there. Position it there. Secondly, it looks like it is still not catching it properly. If you look from below, it seems like the hand. Just kind of. I think we also need to add some rotation on this side. And some more rotation to perfection. Halfway like this. Bring it down so its finger is right there, the tip point. Yeah, I think that looks pretty okay to me. Of course, it looks pretty funny though. Yeah. So that should be the correct positioning for the right hand. I think that's not visible on the camera, but yeah, I make like a multiplayer game. You not like you like the other players might see position that one. You might be seeing how my recon looks better as well. I'll just explain what I did. But just before I do that, I'm just going to quickly get this right hand icon as well. Copy the component, get out of play mode, and paste in the component liners. And now let me show you what I did. Basically, I just modified some things on these SOs. So, well, yeah, you can see how the recoils have been changed in the machine recoil pulses. So if anything's different in your one, you can just change it and make it exactly like this, because this is the best one that I found out up to now. So we have successfully actually added the what do we call? I mean, we've successfully added everything, you know. We have enabled IK on both hands, but what's gonna happen to our reloading animation? If you hit the reload button, it's not that bad, but I'm actually not gonna make you bored by watching me create the whole animation. Rather, I'm just gonna create the animation and show you what I just changed. I'm not gonna show you right now, but after I've created the animation. So yes, I'm gonna create the animation and then come back. I've made the animation, and now I'm just gonna go through all of these frames, keyframes, and everything that I did. And I only did this so that we don't actually have to go through a very long time of just creating the animation. So firstly, you just need to parent these two as a child of the mesh. Everything must be as a child of the mesh. So everything, like the mag, everything, all the 5 points, real pull pin, and everything that. Secondly, I positioned this as 0.21, so that's what you must do. And now let's just go through the animation. So let's just start by the mesh rotation, as that's the first keyframe that we have recorded. So if we just expand it, or we can also just look at it from here, which I think is more better than expanding that over there, but I think we'll do this here. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna hit add property, and then directly on the mesh transform, you're gonna get the rotation. Now I've already taken it, so it's not allowing me to take it again. So that's what you're gonna do, and then it's gonna just set it to 0, 0 at the first frame. Then what you're gonna do is on this frame right here, this one, so what you have to do is have to hit this record button, and then you're gonna come in here and set the rotational. I think we don't need to do this here. Yes, so you're gonna come to this frame first and ignore that one. When you come to this frame, just set these values in the transform inspector by enabling this red button. Otherwise it will not record those. If you don't want to put this red button, then you can just just directly write them in here. So I would recommend hitting the red button and just putting these directly in here. Alright, then we continue with the red button, and on the 60th frame don't do anything, and finally nothing in here as well. When we come to the 90th frame, just set them to 0. Set them to 0 from here, or you can set from here, but remember to have the red button on so that you can set from here. Then we can come to the 105th frame, so then you can see the values -5 and 35, and then we have this frame, the last one, which is again 0. So that's all we need to know for this one, the mesh rotation. So that's going to be it for the first one. Then we have the left and IK transform position. So by default it's these values, so yes, you should look at these ones and just directly put them in here. You can see the values are same, you can just see them from here. Just make this one okay, 6 same actually. Anyway, yeah, so that's what you need to have at that time. Then when you go, so same for rotation also, you can look at the rotations and just pass in them directly into your inspector without recording enabled. And then you can add the property the same way, go in here, mesh, and you're gonna find the left and IK transform, and it's transform, and you can just get its rotation and position. So now what you will do next is you'll hit the red button and you're gonna select this one. Then you can just set these values directly in this first frame. Alright, then you can go to 15th frame, and in here you can just see these values, put them in your inspector transform, left and IK transform, and remember to have this red button enabled. So now I set this red button multiple times, so I won't tell again. I hope you don't make a mistake. Then you come to the 40th frame, and in here you need to set these values. This one, yeah. Just look at this inspector over here and remember to enable this. I'll enable it just so you know. Okay, then 60th frame you need to put these values, and then we can get to the 80th frame, and here we will just put these values. Then we can get to the 90th frame. The 90th frame you can see these, so it's the original position, back to the original y-axis, and everything is original again. At the 90th frame it actually cuts the weapon back. Then on the 105th frame there's no changes, I think. Yep, no changes, so just don't need to just put these values in there, and it will just stay as that default from here. From 90 on you get no changes, so you can just set it over here, set it over here, and set it over here. And that's gonna be it for the left hand IK transform positioning and rotationing, as I told you to check on both of these. Then we can directly move to the real pull pin. So I did not go over this one as I already went over the whole transform. Now on the real pull pin we have just added positioning, and to do that we come in here, we can come in here and get the real pull pin, its transform position, which is not here anymore, but you will find it. So to start off, you will see these are the default values. When you add the property, it's gonna anyway put these for you. Then on the 15th frame, do nothing, and when you get to the 90th frame, you need to go into the curves, select the positioning, X, no, I don't know, sorry, I'm on the dope sheet, it doesn't, sorry, so on this one, sorry, on the 105th frame, you come over here and just need to select the X and then add a key. No? Why is there no key in here anyway? Well, actually we don't need to check these one, only for the Z axis add a key over here, as these two are not going to be changed at all. So just add a key here for the Z axis and it should be the same values. Then back to dope sheet, and in here you can just get to this frame, which is 115. Just set this one to 0.15, don't need to change those as they're not changing. And then back to the last frame, so 132, just set it back to 0.21, and that's gonna be it for the without pull pins position. And now we have the right hand IK transform. So this is the one that's very interesting, and it causes a nice effect as well, and I'm going to show you how it looks after we have gone over this animation. So next we have the right hand IK. We begin with the default values, so you're going to be able to just add those properties again, the properties, and yeah, you can go in here, find the right hand transform, and just put the positioning and rotation. Then you can select this object, this game object, and enable this button. So in the beginning you will see these values, your default ones that you must have put when you were aligning the right hand. Then on the 15th frame you don't need to set them actually, just keep on going until you get to 90, right? So 90, okay, so now 90 you need to find these well actually you can't. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go in here to this frame, the 105th frame, and you're gonna put these values in there while the red button is enabled. Once you've done that, come over here and put in these values. Then on the last frame you will go back here, copy this component by doing copy component, and then in here you're gonna just paste in the component values. So it's not letting me as I didn't copy it. So not only here, you're gonna also go back after that to the 90th frame and paste it in here as well. So that way it's gonna be on this position, and then it's gonna come down here, not lower from this center, as that's what happens when it's originally set. So just remember to paste it on this one as well as the zeros, the original position, basically rotation and position. You just copy the components, paste it in here, and paste it in here when put this key head here, and then paste, and then over here as well paste. So just don't make a mistake in those, and once you've done that all, you're basically going to be done with the animation, as those are the only keyframes I have actually made. And remember that you must delete all the keyframes and then re-add them, as this was a fresh animation, and when you actually reorder these, then it just loses the references. So yeah, that's it. And then we can just have a look at how it looks, so you will see. So we have the normal sway, and if I shoot, we can make our bullet slower. And now if I hit the reload button, that looks good, right? So that looks nice, and that's all we wanted to do. So that's gonna be it for the animation, and we will do some nice, basically we're gonna have to actually prevent the weapon from clipping any walls, such as if you look now, you can see this issue, right? And sometimes even our camera actually goes in there. That's looking literally really bad. So maybe we could actually increase this size. But what I try is, I think we can also try out another method, and we'll think about that in the next part. So right now we're done with the animation. So yep, that's it. Thing I'm gonna do is duplicate this first rotation rig, and it's gonna be basically the spine 2 rotation rig. Or we can try, no, we don't want to do that, but yes, so spine 2, and we're just gonna pass in the second spine. I mean, it's called second spine, it's actually third, I think. Then we can pass in spine 2, and for the spine 1, we're just gonna set the weight of 0.4 as less as we can. We'll see that during play mode. Just keep in 5 right now, keep that at 50, and now we actually need to drag the gun holder into the spine. So basically just drag it in there, and sorry, Command Z. Then before we do that, we just want to see the gun holder thing, so we're just going to copy this component and then just drag it into the spine 2, and here you're just going to paste in the component values. So paste. Alright, okay, and we also need to tell this thing to follow the spine 2. Finally, we also will need to do some things, you know, like drag the camera down and others. So we'll just go into play mode right now, and right away you will notice that everything seems okay, but the gun has actually gone pretty high, and oh, what is this happening for? Really? I think just get out of play mode. The gun holder. Let's get just to Command Z and tell him to put the gun back there. So right now, center spine position follows spine 1, and spine 2, if we set it to spine, oh, did we set it to spine 2? So we just didn't put the gun yet. So now the thing is, if I drag this in here, let's copy this component. Now if I try that again, what's gonna happen? So it does look really odd, but what if we paste in those given values? Oh, well, is that happening? Because we have not even dragged this in here. If we do that, that's when we will see the issue. Okay, so basically we just need to, is that really how it looks? Really? Let's just set this to 1. That's how it's supposed to actually look in normal time. So if we drag this right in here, and now we can copy the component, as that is the positioning we need. Then we can drag this back in here and paste in these component values. Okay. Alright, now if you look at these, we just need to keep them same again. But what about the aiming holders and these things, these positionings? So right now we can see that everything else is doing well, but our cameras are really not at a good position. Local, and if you drag it down, you'll see that coming to a good position. So what we need to do here is we need to calculate how much difference do we need to give to actually put this down, you know. So we just need to know the y difference in both of these, and let me just use my calculator to do so. So basically we want to find the difference, so which one's more? It's this one, so it's gonna be 0.127 8953, and then we want to do minus, that's minus from this one, so that's point triple ones 9084, so 9084, and we're actually gonna create a game object to save this value that's coming in my calculator. So I'm gonna reset this game object, and the value says 0.0159869, so 869, and this is just for saving the value. Now how are we going to calculate for each of these? So basically they're all different except for these two are same. Well, these two are same, so yeah, only for one of them. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put in this value, the 0.364 minus what is in here, which is 0.015986986869. And yep, so the result is 0.348. For that also, I'm gonna create a new one, reset this, and simply put in the value 0.3480131, and then I'm gonna copy this, and I'm gonna go here and see what happens if we. So basically, I'm just paste it when we're in play mode to see what happens. Alright, so I'm here and I paste it. No difference. Well, that was quite embarrassing. What if we make it 1? Well, that's actually because we're modifying the aiming one. And well, no. Well, it still doesn't get there. Almost there. What about so well? Yep, so we still need to change these. Let's try out 2. 2 was too much. Oh, 3. We'll have to do that like this. So let's just come in here and do it manually. So like literally repositioning it. Just bring it down. I think somewhere there looks good. Just a little bit more. Yeah, so that looks okay to me. I'll still drag one more bit down. Now I'm gonna actually have to how will I copy and save these? Well, I'm gonna actually write them down, or rather I'll just notice the Y. So I'm just gonna copy this, and yeah, so I'm gonna get out of play mode, select these two, paste them in. So that's it. Yep. And now we actually have 2 spines that are actually rotating the whole body, and you will see that if you look at how it looks, you can see that there's actually 2 spines, not 1. And if you move to a place now, and yep, so now the camera doesn't clip, but if we are aiming, alright, that's quite noisy. Yeah, so it's not that bad anymore as it was. Now wait a minute, let me just quickly delete these as I don't need them anymore. So basically, now that we've done this, we also want to actually do some way of preventing the clipping, as it's still clipping in the wall. I actually want to also modify this value, make it as low as possible, as I really don't want it to be so high. And the actual only possible way is to see the difference, you know. And you know, if we actually set this to 0, we'll see what happens. So you can see what's happening. See, I mean, it just doesn't look good. As you can see, that's not real. So let's just put it here, right there. And now let's put some more weights. So let's have a look at his back. Kind of somewhere like that. We could try 0.2, I think. Just okay. About, is it about 0.3? I think a 0.5 was okay at that time. You try a higher weight, but if we do too high, then I think it's best. So paste in there, paste in there again. And now I'm gonna just realign the layout, and I'm gonna set this to maybe nothing. Just don't change anything. Yep. So that's it.